really kind of screwed up on our marketing last year, and I didn't even realize it until like just a couple of weeks ago. Show Don't Tell is probably one of the single most overlooked marketing concepts for small businesses. And a big piece of that is because the small business owner is oftentimes involved with building whatever it is we're trying to market. So because we were involved with the building, we're often very close to like all of the features and benefits and all of these pieces. And so we tend to then like talk about that because that's what we spend all of our time putting together. But the problem is there's this concept out there where talk is cheap. And so people don't necessarily believe it. When you say that your thing is the best thing ever, your marketing has to show it, and it's hard to back out sometimes and reframe a little bit. So let's break down how to do that. So in this video, we're going to first break down like what exactly do I mean when I talk about show don't tell in marketing. Then we're going to talk about some of the most common mistakes that I see myself and others making, and then we're going to talk about how do you show instead of tell. So this idea of show don't tell is borrowed from storytelling, and it is massively powerful in marketing because there's a big difference between like the red dirt road was worn and the red dirt of the road had been broken by endless feet into a soft, fine powder that puffed around our feet as we trudged. There's a big difference in the visual that just popped up there, right? So when we show don't tell inside of storytelling, we draw people into the story a lot more. And the same thing with our marketing. If you want to draw people into your marketing and make them feel like they can't live without you, your job is to show, don't just tell, what it is that you bring to the table. So how did I screw this up in our marketing last year? Well, for my company, Grow Disrupt, we design and produce like personal growth and business growth events, but we build them based on the ADHD iOS. So in other words, we design our events to help people grow, but they are built on the neurobiology of the ADHD brain so that these people can stay focused and actually retain the information that happens during and at the event. And if you've ever been to a Grow Disrupt event, you know that they're pretty much unlike any other event out there. Now, that said, when we launched the marketing for our brand new event, ADH Disrupt, I leaned heavily on the existing Grow Disrupt brand of, hey, our events are unlike anything you've experienced before. Now, in our network, people get that. I don't have to always show that. I can say that and they believe me. And to an extent, it worked pretty well. However, for ADH Disrupt, it was going out to a lot of networks that had never met me and never met the brand before. And so for me to say, hey, this event is going to be unlike every other virtual event out there, people were having a hard time believing that. So instead this year, we have shifted the marketing to talk about this is a 3-part adventure quest mission to calm the chaos monster of your ADHD. Even just reading the page is a lot more fun, and people are reading a lot further down the page, which means they're getting to the part that says mission access. It's a lot easier to believe that the event is truly going to be different than any other virtual event out there when the marketing also feels different from every other virtual event out there. So what are some of the most common mistakes that most small business owners are falling into? Well, one of the biggest ones is relying on a laundry list of features and benefits instead of real life content and trying to show that. And for example, let's just talk about the ADH Disrupt one. I said this is going to be unlike anything we've ever done before. We've got a gamified platform for the event itself. We're going to include a game, etc., etc. That was a great list to show off our features or tell our features, right? But when I'm reworking our marketing this year, right, I'm going to say, okay, how do we show that and make this into an adventure story where they're reading the whole thing because it sounds interesting and fun and gets them hyped up. Number 2 is over-reliance on buzzwords. Things like world-class, game-changing, trusted, etc. If you are using basically buzzwords or cliche phrases to describe what you bring to the table, then you are probably going to be missing the mark on show, don't tell. And number 3 is using flat visuals or captions that don't necessarily spark any emotion or credibility. Just saying it's gonna be super cool and then popping up like the logo, or saying this is the best one you've ever gotten and popping up a picture, as opposed to getting like actual graphics created to show what it is that you are trying to communicate. So a few ways that make it a lot easier to show, don't tell what it's like to buy your product or service. 1, use client stories and testimonials. Now, this does require you to actually go collect client stories and testimonials and get them put together. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because a lot of times those can go a lot further than you will ever believe in terms of when you have someone who's interested in working with you, that will be what pushes them over the edge. Now, this is often something where you'll start with just getting one, and then maybe a few months later you get another and another. We make a point of collecting these every single year at the Grow Retreat, so now we actually have a whole bunch of them we can lean on for additional videos, but we can also actually point people to these when they are considering buying a ticket to come to one of our events. Other ways that you can show, don't tell is you can break down the process behind the scenes, which is something that we don't always think about doing because to us, the behind the scenes is kind of boring. So what I would encourage you to do then is ask yourself, like, this is the behind the scene process for whatever it is that we do. How could we make this interesting and something that we could show people in a way they actually want to watch a 30, 40, 50-second video about it? Beyond just ADH Disrupt and the absolutely revamped style of marketing that we have done for that this year, we also did this when we released the Fly music video in 2023.
Holding my breath, falling back down, fighting the waves, feeling like I might drown.
We had a whole 3-minute and 48-second pop ballad that we wrote about how amazing entrepreneurs are and what it is like. And if you listen to it, that pop ballad kind of takes you through like the ups and the downs, but it ends on this really high, inspiring note. Our goal was to help people realize that at our events, we create space for you to reconnect with what is exciting, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with. And that music video did exactly that. And it did it in a way that was non-pushy, non-aggressive, but it was a beautiful way to show, don't just tell, that our events are truly unlike anything you've seen before. Because really, seriously, how many event production companies out there have a whole pop ballad and music video about them? One thing that I will throw out there as we're wrapping up is that this is a muscle. This is something you're going to develop over time. So I will heavily encourage you to just take something that you're working on this week and ask yourself, is there a better way to show don't tell this? Maybe go to an AI chatbot and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. Is there a way to show don't just tell people that we're the best option for them? And see if it comes up with some ideas. One of the things I love about the AI bots is it'll give you probably 50 different ideas. Let's say 48 of them maybe aren't that great, but if you can keep tweaking with it and working with it, you'll usually end up with something really, really cool. It takes time, yes, but that's the thing about small business marketing. See, marketing demands investment, one way or the other. It either demands time or it demands money. So whichever one you have to put in, you got to put in one of these if you want to start getting a return. If you don't have time or you don't have the money to hire an agency to do all that stuff for you, put some time in to do it for you instead. So here's your mission for this week. Go look at the last piece of marketing you put out. Did it tell people you're awesome, or did it show them why they should care?